Welcome back to Bite-Sized Folklore, the show where ancient myths and legends are distilled into small, unforgettable doses. Tonight's story comes from the green hills and misty shores of Ireland. A figure as beautiful as she is dangerous, as inspiring as she is feared. She is the Leanan Sidhe, the fairy Muse. But in folklore, she is never just one thing. In some stories, she breathes life into the heart of the artist, lifting them to greatness. In others, she takes and never lets go, even beyond death. Tonight you'll hear both sides of the Leanan Sidhe. In Lady Wilde's Ancient Legends, Mystic Charms and Superstitions of Ireland, she describes the Leanan Sidhe as the inspirer of the poet and singer, the spirit of life. In this softer light, she is not a dangerous seductress, but a guiding star for the poet's soul. Her gift is not death, but vision, a brightening of the mind's eye. One tale tells of Aodan the poetess, a fairy woman of rare wisdom and grace. Aodan meets King Eugene of Munster after disaster strikes. His throne taken, his people scattered. She finds him wandering the countryside, ragged and silent, the weight of defeat heavy on his shoulders. She speaks to him not with commands, but with verse. Her words are rich and rhythmic, carrying images of his people's pride, the beauty of his homeland and the justice he once brought to his court. Under her guidance, Eugene begins to rebuild, gathering allies, rekindling the loyalty of his warriors. With each step, Aodan's song strengthens him, shaping not only his courage, but his vision for the kingdom's future. When at last he retakes his throne, the land flourishes. In this telling, the Leanan Sidhe is a true spirit of life, not draining but pouring her power into the one she inspires. That is the Leanan Sidhe as a muse and guardian, a spark that restores life and hope. But in other stories, she carries a different light, one that burns far too brightly, and in some, it's a light you can never escape. In W.B. Yeats' 1888 Fairy and Folk Tales of the Irish Peasantry, she is already dangerous. The Leanan Sidhe seeks the love of mortals. The fairy lives on their life, and they waste away. She is the Gallic Muse. Here, her inspiration is not a gift freely given. It is a bargain. Accept her love and your art will shine with impossible brilliance. But your life will burn down to embers. Refuse her, and you may live long but uninspired. And in some versions, death does not break that bond. They say that when the artist dies, the Leanan Sidhe still holds them, binding their spirit in the other world. There they continue their work, not for glory or love of craft, but for her alone. The only escape is for her to find another willing soul to take their place. A modern retelling captures it with chilling simplicity. Death is no escape from her. She gives inspiration to those she persecutes. Imagine awakening after death in a dim, dreamlike hall, your tools and instruments before you, the air heavy with her presence. She smiles, beautiful, unchanging, and you begin again, and again, and again. They say there was once a man in Dunmore named Finn McArdle, a poet with a voice like running water, and a smile that could quiet an angry room. One spring evening, when the gorse was just turning gold, Finn went walking along the cliffs. No one saw who he met there, but when he came back, his eyes were brighter, as if lit from within. After that day, his poetry changed. Gone were the simple rhymes of hearth and harvest. Instead, his verses felt ancient, almost sacred. People travelled for miles to hear him speak. But the more his words shone, the more his body faded. On certain nights when the fog lay thick, Finn would come to the pub. He always took the table by the fire, and always he poured a glass of wine for the empty chair opposite him. When Finn died, they found him in his cottage, pen still in hand, paper on the desk covered in a poem no one could read, the words written in a language unknown. The glass of wine was there too, half drunk, and beside it, a second cup. Empty. Some say she still walks the cliffs above Dunmore, searching for another poet to take Finn's place. That was The Poet of Dunmore, a story many believe is the work of the Leanan Sidhe, the fairy muse of Irish folklore, said to inspire brilliance while drawing life away. Two faces of the same muse, the bringer of life, the thief of life. Perhaps she is both at once, a reflection of the truth that inspiration can nurture us all, or consume us entirely. The question is, if she came to you, what would you choose? The steady warm flame, or the blaze that burns you into legend? That's today's episode of Bite-Sized Folklore. Follow us for more tales that walk the line between light and shadow. Until next time, keep one foot in the daylight.